Oh, they're pretty good. I like it. I think it's fine.
Well, you know what, and you and your peers that we're about to talk to in ATC are probably slightly different minded because your job and what you're going to be doing is going to be with technology. It's going to be
Yeah.
screens. It's going to be, so you're like, I mean, it's a different type of technology, obviously going remote, but you guys are like, oh, this is great. I have to use
Yeah.
machines and computers and screens all the time. So that's good. I'm glad things are going pretty well. Look at this. I see all that snow. Oh my goodness. Look at it's melting the grass. It is melting in the grass. That's because the grass is warm. Right? Yep. Yep. Because the grass is very high. Because this remember I sing the song in the snow? Oh, I do. Remember? I do remember. I'm gonna sing that song. Look it's swirling around. Very exciting. As soon as we're done with this call, we'll go out there, okay? It's free in the snow. Yes, we will. I told you it was in the snow. Yeah. You told me. You're smart.
Good morning, everyone. We're going to wait a few minutes, give people a few more minutes to log on. Thank you for being here this morning. For those of you who are just coming on, go ahead and mute until we start talking, please. Thanks. All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. So my name is Christina Blobbaum. I'm the Dean. We have with us Associate Dean for Academic Affairs, Dr. McFarland. We have Professor Lorenzen, who's our Program Coordinator for Aeronautics. Heather Ryan is here as an advisor. And so the whole point of this meeting, there's no real agenda. It's just to check in with you all, see how you're all doing. Make sure that things are going well for you. And if they're not, we'd love to hear about what your issues are, what your concerns are. There have been a lot of policies coming out of the university, and we want to make sure that you understand them, that everyone's on the same page, you know what to do, where to go to find information, and basically tell us how we can help you. So that's really the point of today. So first of all, let me ask you, you can get yourself off mute for a second here and tell me how you're all doing. Go ahead and speak up.
I'm doing good.
Mute, Alicia?
Yeah, it's going good for me.
Great. You guys can all show yourselves too. If you want to hit the video button, we can actually see your faces. You don't have to though, of course, completely up to you all.
Yeah, just doing our best to adjust to the online coursework and classes that wouldn't normally be online and figuring out how to best handle them.
Okay.
I think can you guys hear me? I'm sorry, I'm on my cell phone. My computer's not working. Awesome.
Yep, we can hear
I think
you.
the transition has been very well considering we had 3 days to do this. I mean, you guys worked your tails off, and so far it's not bad. I'm actually doing quite well.
Okay, good
This
to
is Robert
know.
Graham. I'm not sure if it comes up on the phone at all.
Okay, yes. No, it doesn't, but we see you logged in, so that's great.
Yep, I'm sorry about that.
No problem. And I see Professor Bergeroff is also joining us, so that's great. Anyone? Okay, so that's good to hear. Let me ask you this. I know that it's a struggle, especially for courses that have lab components, and so that's been particularly challenging across the entire college and the entire university. What kind of issues are you seeing? Any particular issues or challenges that that you're having that don't seem to be resolved yet? Is there something that you're struggling with that we can help with?
I think coming from the perspective of somebody that is not only in those lab classes, but also I'm a lab assistant, so I help, and a lot of the people here are lab assistants too, so I know they can say the same thing. With helping teaching classes, obviously the material is not going to be the same. Obviously what they're getting out of the classes is not going to be the same. However, I will say that from Mr. Bergerhoff and from Jenna, what they've done, and even what Jordan have all put together to kind of compensate for not being in the lab coursework wise for all levels of students, going from the fundamentals level all the way up to our senior capstone course, has been quite comparable and a really, I think, good opportunity for us to learn how to, make something work out of kind of nothing. And we've been doing really well with our courses so far with sharing different applications and drawing, and still being interactive with those maps and learning as much as we can in this sort of a format, even without having those radars. And like I said, the material is the same. It's just a matter of not being able to actually run those scenarios in the lab, but we know that can't happen. So I don't think there's really been, at least from my end, any real difficulty so far.
Thank you for that insight. Anyone else want to jump in? Okay, well, I'm going to ask Dr. McFarland to give a little bit of an overview of a policy that has come out that I know has caused some confusion, and we want to make sure everyone's on the same page, and that's the pass-fail policy. So, Dr. McFarland, could you address that for this group?
Yeah, so it's just a reminder for all of you that it is available for all of you at any time for any of your classes. There is a list that you can go to online under students here that will tell you which courses are not eligible for pass-fail. I can say that in our college, all of ours are available for pass-fail. So that's the first thing. I think most of arts and sciences is also available. And the way the process works is you can request that between now and after your final grades are posted. The big point of clarification that people just need to be aware of, so you guys understand and you can pass it on to your peers if you're talking with them or in class, and hopefully your professors are reiterating this as well, is that transition from whatever grade you get to that pass-fail, if you accept it or if you choose to elect it, will not happen until after your final grade posts. So if you have a C in your class right now and you request pass-fail and you stop attending class, or you blow off that final exam, or you do whatever you do and you end up with an F, the professor's going to put in that grade of an F, and when your pass-fail posts, it's going to post as a fail, because it's based off of your final grade that your professor puts in. It's not based off of the time that you requested. And that's a really important point, because some students are thinking that, hey, if I have a D now and I request pass-fail, I'm going to pass and I don't have to go to class anymore. And then they're going to be surprised come the end of the semester when they have an F and it posts as an F. So just remember that. The other point that's I just like to highlight, I don't know that there's been confusion, but since we have you here, I want to highlight, is that the professors of any course at the university don't know if you are requesting a pass-fail. They don't know, and they're not going to know this semester. So that's an option that's available for you. You can kind of read through the policy, you know, GPA, all the scholarships, those things, but it's your choice. It's your decision to do it. I encourage you to maybe reach out to your advisors because they can give you insight as far as the impact it might have on GPA or things like that. But the professors won't know. You're going to do your final exam. They're going to enter the grades via how they always do, and that transition to that pass or to that fail will automatically happen. Some students have had concerns that, hey, if I'm in a class that has a, you know, I have to get a C or better to move on to the follow-on course, and I get a D, and I request a pass, am I allowed to go on to the next course? Yes. Yes, you are. The next question is, well, if I'm in that next course in the fall, and I should have had a C to get into it, but I just passed it with a D, am I going to get kicked out? No, you are not. That is the time that we might look into your grades, because it'll still show what you earned in the grade. On your record, it'll say pass with a D, or pass with a B, or whatever it is that you got. Next fall, for our college, we might go into some of those classes and see what you earned, not to kick you out, not to, you know, cause you any concerns, but to say, okay, we know that our most successful students have a C or better, and we've got 2 students, 5 students, 8 students who earned a D last semester. We need to now incorporate extra recitation sessions, lab times. You know, the faculty might, in office hours, reach out to you one-on-one to be sure that you have the proper supports to catch back up and be successful in that follow-on class. And then after next semester, it's just, you know, things are hopefully back to normal. And by next semester, I mean fall. So I don't know if that clarified things for you guys, or if I missed anything from the dean or Heather that I should have covered with pass fail. But the biggest thing is you still have to go to class, and your pass fail, whether you get the pass or the fail, is based upon your final grade that professor puts in May 12th, whatever that date is.
Thank you. And I guess another thing, well, let's see if there are any questions. Does anyone have any questions about that policy?
If we do decide to take the pass-fail option in, like, let's say a class that's outside of the College of Aeronautics, how do we elect to make that decision? Like, do we go through Blackboard? Do we go through the professor? Well, you said the professor doesn't know, so how do we actually go about doing that?
All of your pass-fail requests are going to be, you should get a link in your Flashline account that you can enter. Kind of like when you have to do a late registration or things like that, it's supposed to be a DocuSign form that is all done automatically. And the university registrar knows which courses are not eligible. And I'm going to default to the not eligible just because there are fewer of those than there are that are eligible. So you'll go into my Flashline. I actually haven't seen it. I don't know, Heather, if you've seen it or talked with a student who can see it yet. I don't know that that actual form has been posted for your use yet, but that's where you'll do it. And it'll, you know, your schedule will come up, you'll do a drop down, you know, I elect, you know, pass fail in this course, you'll sign it, and then it'll kind of go off to that, actually won't even go to the professor, won't even go to the advisors. It'll just be automatically calculated at the end of the semester, converted rather, via the registrar's office. Does that answer your question, Erica?
Yeah, that does. Thank you.
Anything else about that? So one thing that I will let you know is that, or that I just want to reinforce, is that what's happening now should not be the reason that you do not progress and that you do not graduate. If you are doing everything that you're supposed to be doing and coming to us if you have a challenge so that we can work with you, then this is not going to affect your progression. So, you know, just make sure that if you're encountering some difficulty or you have some question, you're going to the right people, you're asking the questions, you're making sure that that you are progressing, which means that you should be registering for class for the fall. And let's talk about summer real quick. So Dr. McFarland, would you like to cover summer?
I have 3 screens here. Depending upon where my mouse is, I can't unmute myself. So Summer, you have heard already that summer 1, summer 2 are also remote. I want to emphasize the difference between remote and online. Some of your classes might be, might be online courses traditionally, and I highlight that. I don't know if we have any international students on this call, but there's a difference, and it particularly pertains to international students and how they can progress through their courses. So they're remote, summer 1, summer 2. The decision has not yet been made regarding summer 3. We don't know, so you don't know, but as soon as we do, you'll know. I'm working with the faculty and the program coordinators in particular on if we can add summer courses in summer 1 or summer 2 and even summer 3 that weren't originally on the schedule. I did get a list of additional courses from Dr. LaBerge, and we're still waiting on a couple of other ones to trickle in for Aero in particular. And if we can add them, we will. And just realize too, part of it is one of you commented on at the very beginning, there's a difference between in 3 days putting 5 weeks of a class into remote and then an entire semester remote. Those professors that are using it synchronously, just teaching the same class like they normally would, but via a computer, are more apt to go remote over the summer. So check out next week if those courses have changed. If you have some significant concerns with classes that you'd like, please talk to your advisor so they can give us feedback and we can work with the professor. And then the last thing I want to say regarding summer is we are looking at some options like cast metals, I know is on the schedule, survey of electricity, electronics, hydraulics, pneumatics. Those were on the summer schedule, but they're very lab intensive. And honestly, even the ATC courses, because you guys I know are experiencing that. We can't get into the building for you to use the ATC labs. There is a possibility that we're kicking around with the professors to say, okay, well, is it possible to do the lecture over the summer so you can register for it, do the lecture, get that done, but know at the point of enrolling, you'll still enroll in the lab, but you will not physically be able to do the lab until we're back in the building. That might be summer 3, or ideally we wouldn't make it summer 3, we would make it in the fall when we know you have to physically be back on campus. So you might sign up for, a survey of electricity and electronics, just do the lecture in summer 2, knowing that come fall for 4 Saturdays in a row or 2 Saturdays, we're just kind of working out with the professors in the building, probably Saturdays and in the evening, just because that's when the space is available. You can then complete the lab assignments and kind of stay on track that way. So we'll let you know about that as well when we kind of release that information on the summer schedule. And your advisors, as far as those details, they'll get it as far as what will be remote and not remote. I don't think I missed anything there, did I, Dr. Blubbaum?
I think that was good. Thank you. Yeah, and I just use it as an opportunity. Just keep moving ahead. And if you're delayed because there is something that's a physical presence required, see if there's something else you can take instead and just keep moving. And we're here to help you strategize about that. What else do we need to talk about? I feel that there's something else that I'm missing.
How about that cool picture behind you?
Oh, that's a good thing to talk about. What is that? Anyone know what that is behind me? Any takers? Dr. McFarland, you don't count. You know
It's
the answer.
the future plan for the College of Aeronautics and Engineering building.
It is, absolutely. It is the engineering, they're calling it right now the engineering wing, but obviously it's going to affect both aeronautics and engineering. And just yesterday I had a meeting where we are still proceeding. The university is committing $12 million towards that. And so we are raising another $6 million, and that'll be an $18 million wing that will be added onto our building. We're going to be hiring the company to do the detailed designs very soon. And so that's exciting. So those of you who are early in your academic careers here at Kent State will see that happening over the course of the next year or so. And hopefully in a couple years, classes will be held in that building. which will be very fun and exciting. And you see that there's some UAVs flying around up there. Well, that's one of the reasons we went with a 2-story atrium, so that we can actually fly indoors all the time, year round, even with snow. I just had snow today. Did anyone else just have snow? It's crazy.
It is actually lying on my ground, like it's stuck to the ground here, which is really not.
Okay, well, mine melted, so so I think that yours melted. Yeah, so that is exciting, and we are just continuing on. The university is continuing on, even though things have certainly changed. We are going to resume normal operations at some point. All right, any other questions or comments, or you see who's here online? So you have a lot of expertise here. All right, great. Well, I'll tell you what, if you have any questions, if you get off and then you think, gee, I should have asked something, here's a question I have, send to one of us. Send to Professor Lorenzen. You can send to Dr. McFarland. You can send to Heather Ryan, Ms. Ryan, I see again that Jason Bergeroff's on. So just send to someone and we will get the answer for you. In the meantime,
I did have a question in regards to the UFA STEM. Are they still being installed this summer?
the
Simulators for the ATC lab.
Okay. As far as we know, so we will keep you up to date on that. The university is looking at various options right now for saving funds, but it is in our budget. We've pushed it through. We've done the purchase order. So as far as we know, it will be installed. And I just want to be completely transparent with you. So if anything changes, you will hear about that.
And I think the big
Sounds
thing
wonderful.
is,
I can't wait.
and I think too, just recognize that even if the university continues to approve our purchase and things, it might not get physically installed this summer because we can't get in the building. And that's also going to kind of be out there as well. But again, like the dean said, as soon as she knows, the professors will know, and it'll get down to you. That's also still in the air. Like I said, we don't even know if we're back in summer 3. So.
Yeah, I will tell you, however, that I have heard that contractors are still being allowed on campus. So hopefully that would not impact such an installation. Other things are happening across campus right now. So there was a question for Professor Lorenzen. Did you see that?
Yes, and I did answer that privately. Just to tell everybody, I'm teaching security and policy and aviation law in summer 3. I was actually supposed to be in Italy in June, so I doubt that's happening. But summer 3 will, those classes, if they do go remote, I am planning to teach those remotely. So not to worry about that. And my job as coordinator is making sure that everything keeps going as well as it can for everyone, so that you guys can matriculate and graduate.
So I'm sorry, Jason, could you say that again? The courses you have in summer 3?
If they need to go, right now, we don't know what's happening with summer 3, but if they go remotely, I am prepared to teach them remotely.
Okay.
Will aviation law be offered in any other summer section or just summer 3?
Right now, it's just planned for summer 3.
Austin, you good? Do you have anything else, Austin?
Nope, that's all from my part anyways.
I have a question about the FAA testing center. I know that since the airport will remain closed, that means that the testing center is also closed. Is this true of other testing centers in the area, or does anybody know anything about the status of that?
I can tell you about our testing center, that it is indeed closed for now. If there is, actually, we are awaiting some furniture installation that got delayed because of the manufacturer having to temporarily suspend. So right now we're looking at end of April for that to be completely in place if things go as expected. However, that could change. Then I am leaving it up to Dr. Kraus, who's not on right now, and the folks at the airport to request any exceptions to the university rules. So if there is a rationale to have someone on campus and we can demonstrate that there's minimal or no risk, minimal risk, let's say, then we can make that argument. Now, with regards to, so having said that, potentially come May or June, our testing center will open in some limited way if we can make that argument. But I am not aware of anything going on at the other testing centers. So I'm going to defer to my colleagues. Perhaps Professor Lorenzen knows something.
Sorry, there's a conversation going on underneath on the testing center. So the question was, Dr. Blowbaum, whether or not they can take the test someplace else.
Yes, whether even any other centers are open for testing.
Yeah, they are.
I have no idea. They are. There are some that are
There
open.
are some centers open, so I guess it's going to be coordination with I guess PSI. But I do know that there are several centers that are still open, and they can take those tests.
So perhaps there is something that we can do to help facilitate that. So maybe we can identify what is open and then share that information with our students who need that information. So that would be a great action item for us.
And then the other thing too, for the students who are asking that question, if that comes down, we'll also on our side figure out how to transfer. If you're in a course that has special course fees, we'll take care of getting that to the people. It's not like you'd have to pay again and then get reimbursed from us or anything. We'll take care of that once we figure out if and where you can test and what you need to test. Because part of it too is we want to ensure that you're also staying safe. We don't want to put you into an environment where, you know, if we can delay the test for you, we might want to do that, but we'll see. We'll talk with you, and definitely talk with your professors and your advisors if you have that need.
Okay, but with like looking at testing centers directly, would Carissa be the best person at the airport to talk to about that? Or is there somebody that I should be coordinating with?
So Carissa is the testing center supervisor, and what coordination do you need in particular? Do you have a specific test that you need to take?
Well, it's still the dispatch one that I haven't taken since the summer of last year.
Gotcha. I see what you're saying. So, and is it the online?
Well, I need to take the ADX and the oral. I need to take both.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, definitely we can touch base. I would, in that case, you could go ahead and touch base directly with Carissa because it's a very specific exam and a very specific location to see what's even out there. And then we'll just have to have a conversation from there with Dr. Mangrum as well to be sure that he's comfortable with it so that maybe you can get that done during this time. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, because, you know, graduating in May, that's supposed to happen.
I want to get that done. The nice thing though, Erica, I will tell you is that you can complete a minor. Heather, tell me if I'm wrong. You can actually complete the minor after you graduate with your majors, because I think you have a couple of them. So if for some reason you didn't get that one class of your minor done, can she graduate with that, Heather?
Well, when you say graduate, you mean have a diploma conferred? So, so that's a good question, because I think that previously the minor had to be attached to a completed degree. So if graduation occurs and the diploma is issued, when you come back to take other classes, it would be as a post-undergraduate student versus adding a course to a minor that you had already started. So I'll need to clarify that because I think that was something that might have changed. So I want to double check. I'll let you know.
Okay. Yeah, Heather, I was planning on emailing you directly about that anyway. So
okay,
I'll just do that anyway.
I will double check into that for you because I know that there was discussion about that being adjusted. So I look forward to hearing from you.
Okay, cool. Yay.
That was a great question. Anything else? All right. Excellent. Thank you so much. Stay safe. Be smart when you go in public. Be smart with your friends. I know you will be. We look forward to seeing you. Bye-bye.